Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here for this new episode of Inspiring Our World. Today, I am so happy to be talking with one of my greatest friends in Nikken, Barbara Bertucci. Barbara is a Royal Diamond in this company. She's an exemplary leader, and I think you're going to love this conversation that we're going to focus on women in leadership and women in Nikken. So thank you so much, Barbara, for taking time out of your crazy busy day to be with me. I'm so happy we're doing this.
Thank you, Julie. This is so awesome. I just love that you're doing these podcasts because it's a great window into people's lives and what we're doing, what we're about. So,
Thanks. I love doing them. It's a joy to just, demonstrate for people the beauty of all the different personalities we have in Nikken, the men, the women, the success. And you've created wonderful success. Many congratulations on these years. We've been involved about the same amount of time. And I just absolutely love and adore you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I now say over 20 years, and it's been 27 years. And it's amazing because it's been such a amazing ride, and the travels and the trips and the things that we've done together collaboratively, you too, and you've also been a great inspiration for me. Your passion and your love and the way we enhance people's lives with these technologies, really, and ourselves in the midst of it, right?
Well, thank you. And it is true that I think women especially, we love to be of service. We love to be servant leaders. And I think that's what Nikken teaches us so much, is how to become a really effective leader, but that's servant-oriented, service-oriented, because we do help people with our technology so much, and with the business, which is often just as big a pain as sometimes is it happening in the body.
Right. Well, that's true, Julie. We have such an opportunity that it can be missed. It's such a gift. It's such an amazing thing to, one, give someone back their quality of life. I mean, to get that and to have I call it your hands on the levers and dials of your physical body, but now your entrepreneurship, your business mind, your time, talent, all of that in Nikken is tremendous, because I'm unemployable, Julie. I can't. I mean, I work for myself. I work when I want to work. I schedule myself, and I'm, going to go see my sons and take trips, and I can do Nikken along the way or where I am, and that's great. Or I can book myself off, and that's amazing. So the thing that I love is that I've grown along the way, and that's the real gift. And humans being more is tremendous. It's something that has us stand apart from all other companies out there and our technologies. So yeah, it's amazing.
I think both of us have done Humans Being More many times. I know I've done it well over 25 times, and also have been involved around 27 years, same as you. And I was always looking to the other women in the business too, because it's one thing to look at a man and say, okay, you can do it, but sometimes that idea is that you can do it, but maybe I can't do it. But when I would see you and Susan Carver and others just blossoming, I was like, well, if you can do it, I can do it.
That's right. And that's true. And I think I did that with you on stage too. Well, Julie can get up there on stage and talk like that. I can get up there and do that, right? Susan Carver, it's interesting because she'll say I was an inspiration to her as we took our company over to Germany. And she's like, well, I didn't know how to speak German and I didn't do anything. And then all of a sudden she took on South America and is tremendous. And she says that I was her inspiration for that. And I'm like, kind of like, I'm their leader. Which way did they go? I have no idea, right? Because
I love this. This. I feel like we ratchet each other up. We're like, it's just so beautiful too for women, because women can be competitive with each other. You know, you're prettier than me, or you're more talented at this than I, you know, whatever. I love it that in Nikken, there's none of that. It doesn't have to be there. If somebody does it, that's their own issue. But we can really empower each other without ever being threatened by each other. And I feel like that is so important for women in the workplace, to have that safety, right, of supporting each other versus being against each other.
Well, rising each other up to the next, seeing that their awesomeness, their amazing gifts that they have, and bring that forward is really, really tremendous. You know, there's been so many things that we can do. I was looking at the teenagers, and I see us, you know, we're on Zoom, and I imagine the teenagers coming out of this pandemic having been a freshman on video, right? It's like a whole new life. Or my grandkids, and they're under their masks in kindergarten and first grade. I'm just like, the teacher couldn't express and smile. I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, we have such an opportunity right now for multiple sources of income to complement people out there and help them be the better self that they are. And 80% of the people in Nikken are women. So what better way to better yourself? Now, I remember a lady talking once, and she said she would just get up, get dressed, you know, get herself together. She had nowhere to go, but she'd just get up, get dressed, put her makeup on, you know, and she's like, I'm going to meet somebody today. I don't know who, but I'm going to meet them today, and I'm going to get out there and I'm going to do it. And you know, Julie, I did that. I faked it till I made it. And the one tip I had was, I knew more than they knew about Nikken and natural technologies. And if I didn't know the answer, I loved it. It was like, you know, that's a really great question. Let me get back with you on that. And it gave me an excuse to get back with the people about these things. So, you know, at one point I went to doctors. My dad's a doctor, and I love life and I love helping people. And so I would go into all the doctors and, you know, make the thumper go off and make some noise in the front and work to have someone experience these amazing technologies. And you've transformed their lives, right? You've helped them. So, and all of a sudden I got to see that, oh, if I do a little more and I make a plan and I strategize, I could actually, you know, go gold. I could actually, you know, get the extra bonuses. I could get those amazing things. And I'm helping people all the while. And those little light bulbs that are the stepping stones, right, to get us to the next level, or the catalyst. Sometimes they, you know, catapult you to the next level, you know, and that's fine, because it's what enhances us. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm here, you know. Now let me, another analogy is that we're skinny, and, you know, like babies, they get real thin, and then all of a sudden they plump up. And then what happens? They grow, and then they plump up. So as a silver, you might plump up, and you got a lot of people on your team and like that, and all of a sudden you break gold. You've got them all breaking out. You're like a better word, giving little birth to all these little, you know, this tribe of yours. And now you're skinny again. You're like, oh my gosh, I got to go build the hopper. I got to go build my coffers up again. And, you know, and I just think of it like that. You know, we plump up, we get thin, we go, you know, and we're building our team, we're building our customers.
I love this. Yeah. Yeah. It's so true, which is why the most valuable performer, the MVP, because that's your personal group, is so critical, because that shows that you're plumping up again in order to go to the next level, the next stage. And it's such a fun game. And I think for women, it's something I've always loved, is that you have to develop the masculine sides of yourself as well as the feminine side. So there's the relationshiping and the listening and all of that we love, that are your very feminine qualities, the nurturing, the empowerment. And then there's the masculine side of us, that it needs to set goals and plan and push through when there's rejection, and, you know, really lead by example, not just waiting for everyone else's timing, but to actually create the wave that people come into, like the wake of a boat when it's really going, a speedboat, and then that fabulous wake, and then all the people start coming because they're magnetized to your focus and direction. And I feel like that's something really lovely, because some of us have a lot more of the natural feminine qualities, some of us have a lot more of the natural masculine qualities, but we really need to develop both. And it's the same for men. They need to develop the listening and the heart nurturing, and and of course we're all different. Like some men have that in spades and others don't. So we're always learning how to become whole and how to become sovereign. You mentioned about I can do what I want, go where I want, and so on and so forth. And I think that sovereignty of being is something that women really need, because when our kids were small, we needed flexibility around time, so we could pick up our kids from school, go to the basketball game, go to the swimming meet, whatever it was, the singing contest. And we got to do that, right? And I love that we can bring that to other women, to say you can have flexibility, you are your own boss, and you get to do it the way you want to do it, and we're here to guide and support and mentor and love you into your greatness.
That's right. And the other thing is not to reinvent the wheel, right? So if the leaders in Nikken are majority men, 80% of the leaders in Nikken are men, and only 20%, the tribe. So what is it? Let's not reinvent the wheel. Let's dot those I's, cross those T's when someone's going silver or building their team, and get that from them. And then bring us to it, right? Bring the heart, bring the things, bring the vision. Kind of like you got to row both sides of the boat, right? You got to say the numbers, you got to do the things. I love the one of the things that I did in the very beginning too was, what if, Julie, you could have any product you needed for your home right now? What if every child had it on their bed, you had the water upstairs, downstairs, shoes in the, we just wrote it all down. Now, and I just played with numbers, the wish list, right? And then you kind of go, okay, what? They're getting, their eyes are glazing over. It's like, it's okay. Let's just highlight. You need the Mag Flex, you need the knee wrap, maybe the CM cream, the KVB, the nutritionals. Let's look at, what it is, and we would weigh out all of it, and then the savings, and that helped me so much talk numbers, right? And get the numbers out to people, because I'm dreaming their wish list, I'm talking numbers, and I really don't know, and I'm writing them down, wholesale, retail, all the way down to the bottom, or packs, not packs, right?
Yeah.
And coming up with the savings. Look, you both get a pillow,
Great.
And so
you have a really good pragmatic skill that I love. It's very grounded and step by step. And I mean, you have that so much better than I do. Like, I'm just like, let's go to the stars. Oh, we need stuff. We need a rocket. Yes, we need astronaut, gear. So I've always really loved that and learned from you around that, how to.
And on the bottom, thank you. And on the bottom of the wish list, the what if you started your own business, there's the tax advantage, there's the other things, right? So now, even though we've only highlighted the Mag Flex and the thing, we are now putting more products down, because you got to be a product of the product, but you've got to have your kit, you got to have your products to show and tell, and not take them out of your shoes. You got to have another pair of insoles, right? And that was a big factor for me and my partner at the time, was that we were not spending, because we didn't have it to spend, Julie. But when we turned it around to investing in business and starting a business, I was able to get everything. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. This is amazing. I don't know how we just did that, but the lights went on and it was like, yes, now, and this is what you're going to do. Oh yes, I promise I'll do and I'll work it into my schedule, and I'll share at the soccer field, and I'll share along the way. And you feed me leads along the way, and I will work the leads. And, I made a goal to let go of the medical billing business at the time, and because of the time flexibility, wasn't my job of choice. It was just I could manage it and be with the kids and do things, and that was important to me. So the time freedom is amazing, but having your own business and then having the tax write-off and all the things, got to dress the part, got to have your hair done, got to have your, clothing, got to work out, stay fit, right?
Absolutely. You got to look the part because we're a wellness company. So, and we all have work to do in that arena, of course, because it's ongoing. But I do love that, when I see the consultants being so vibrant, so bright, it's like a testimony to how wonderfully the technologies work. And just to say, there's never a business that one starts that doesn't require money to make money. Of course it does. Of course it does. So that's a very important piece, to be a product and have products to lend to others. I mean, many of us have built the business that way, primarily, and now we're more online, of course. So there's other ways around that, workarounds. But ultimately, people have to know the products work, they're safe, non-invasive, they're easy to use, there's no side effects. I mean, I love that. And you and I both have dads that were doctors, right? So we come from that background. And for me to have, I even worked for a very short time in selling drugs, pharmaceutical drugs, actually. And I did it for 6 months and I was very successful, but I couldn't do it. I said, I have to quit because this is against everything I believe in, because they had such big side effects. These were generic. I was selling generic. This was in London when I was like in my early 20s. And I just said, I just cannot do it. And they said, but you're so good at it. And I'm like, it's just a disconnect for me ethically. But with Nikken, the fact that everything's so safe, do no harm, right? First, do no harm. And you have had a remarkable recovery with your own issues that you.
Oh yeah, I'm going to go back to the dad though. Yeah. My dad, during the summer, I was a PT assistant. And so I would do traction, heat packs, all these things on people. And he looked at me one day and he said, whatever you do, avoid back surgery if you can at all costs. It's never a 100% cure. You're going to hurt somewhere else. Now you've got an ailment you've got to protect, right? You're weakened in an area. So if you can, neck maybe, but think of it. It supports the entire body on that low back. Yes. And that saved me not having those surgeries. And I have more energy, Julie, now than I did in my 30s. Prior to Nikken, I am more flexible. I do yoga, I do different things, still same body, but I don't hurt. And I just shared it this morning. We have some amazing hot new technologies that are ancient, natural, non-invasive. And that's the way I share it because it's true. It's so amazing. We got the seats, we got the different things. It's just awesome how we can travel, go places and do things and just pick right back up. Maybe use this, maybe you have your MagFlex on, the eye mask, now the pillow. Oh my goodness, yes. I just elated, sleeping so amazing. My neck, I always have my power band on at night to sleep. And now maybe I don't need it as much right there because that support is awesome.
It's the best pillow I've ever had in my life. No kidding. I am like so over the moon about it. I'm like thrilled. My neck's relaxed, my shoulders are relaxed, my jaw where I'll take tension, that's all relaxed. After like 2 nights, it was like boom. So that's a winner. Well, everything we have is a winner. I want to ask you a little bit. I want to change gears just a little bit. I know, because I know we can talk about technologies the whole time because we both love them so much. I want to ask you about leadership with women and who has been inspiring to you in your life, when you were a child, or who are the women out there in the world or in Nikken or whatever that really have helped you see that you can be a leader?
We did talk about Susan Carver already, and Linda Morris is one of my best buddies.
Love
and she's just a doll, and she I think what is it, when you get into Nikken, that's what Susan said. When you get into Nikken, that, that's one thing. But then when Nikken gets into you, you can't help but share like that. Mother Teresa is from service. I think I look to see how I can serve. And I just moved across the country, this year, and picked up, and because I did that. And now I'm looking at what arenas do I really want to play in? Is it the pet ministry? Is it, my church and where I play, which I'm a chaplain there. And so, yes, I'll do that. But what other areas? Is it the arts? Is it the theater? Do I support the back? How do I help people come back out from this pandemic, right? And have a life and have work. Although it's really nice not to have to fly to see you and do this live on Zoom. So I'm not throwing away, the baby with the bathwater. I'm keeping these technologies live. It's beautiful, that we have this capability to be global right here in our home. So the women in Nikken, I think the leadership, Michelle Obama, the different women that were out there, that even though they're behind the sidelines a bit, they're very, very powerful. And they have, I'm going to say it, Princess Diana was a very dear inspiration to me, and her kids, how she put her family first, and, God, family, that, and then your duties, and things. But those are the ones that inspire me. We were talking about books. We were talking about Louise
Hay.
Louise Hay was
Love her.
Yes.
Oh, I met her once. I was so excited.
And your word is your wand. Who was that one? That was
Florence Scovel Shinn.
Yes.
And
Florence
The Game
Scovel
of
Shinn.
Life and How to Play It. She is one of my top inspirational sort of spiritual teachers.
Those are some of the books, and I'm talking reread.
Yes.
Think and Grow Rich, How to Think Big, right? Those are some great ones.
You mentioned Princess Diana, and I just have to jump in on there because for me, she was a huge inspiration. Her grace, her beauty, her caring for others, her going to the disenfranchised, her warmth with her children, just that picture of her opening her arms and the kids running in, and when she passed away, I was absolutely devastated. And recently, Queen Elizabeth II has just passed away. And of course, my whole life, I danced for her. I met her when I was a child. So that's big because 96, and she was on the throne for so many years. So to have a woman on the throne as a leader, and very much service oriented, because as a child, I looked at Queen Elizabeth I and Queen Mary of Scots, also who's a queen, and just like, who are these women and what did they do and why were they so great? And of course, they all had greatness and foibles, because we all do. But these were my inspirations, and Marie Curie, and she's a scientist.
But the royalty that they brought, and the choices, along the way, they had to choose royalty over personal. I'm just going to hang out on the sofa today and watch TV. I don't know, whatever it was. They definitely had to stand up, step up, and get out there. And I think that's what we look for in Nikken, is how to bring out humans being more, step up, step out, and build your business. Then you can take some hiatuses and stuff and work, and then pause a little bit, but work, and then that, and just, I can't even take credit for Igor and Carol in Germany, except that, that was his dream. And that's what he wanted to do, is build a business that he could go over to Germany and back and forth. And just amazing. I'm in, over 17 countries. Please, me, when I think of me, Barbara, that started, it's like, oh my word. And then I go, me, yes, it is me. And I have done this, and I am successful, and I am a multimillionaire thanks to Nikken. And I've reached and surpassed dreams that now I'm redoing the life cycle plan and the different things, right? Because we continue to dream and build who we are along the way. And that's the beauty of it. So
I love what you're saying here about taking ownership of your own royalty. I think that is so critical. If you don't embody it, you can't have it externally, because as within, so without, as above, so below. So you have to have it within first, your own abundance, your own self-worth, your own inner gold, which every psychologist will talk about, from Carl Jung to Robert Johnson to so many others, the inner gold. If we don't know that we have this inner gold, we can't ever demonstrate it. And Nikken is so much about learning how to manifest, right? It's so much about that, the mind, the emotions, the spirit, and then the physical action, to make it happen. All of it counts. You can't miss any of it out. Every part of it is critical, isn't it?
Right. The whole 5 pillars of health. And then you can put spirituality in the center if you'd like.
Absolutely.
That's it. And it's the ebb and flow. You're gonna have ups and downs. It's how well you ride. And I think of the flames, right? And I think of how well can you ride in the midst of all the things that are going on in your world. I'm a breast cancer thriver now, going on 20 something years. And it's like, oh my word, right? It's
wow.
like, and thank you, Nikken. I did surgeries. I didn't do anything else, Julie. I didn't do the chemicals.
Well, I know, because I've talked to you about this, and I love that you say breast cancer thriver and not survivor, because who wants to be a survivor? I don't think that's good for our head.
No, and I don't say not to do the chemicals of that. If that's what your path is, both and. Do both, but let me help you detox after. Let me help you sleep. Let me help you not have the numbing tingling. Let me help you. Let Nikken help you,
Yes.
And let's build a business with this along the way so that you have that flexible time.
Well, there's so many people to help. And, you did mention about, you have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to be brave. You've got to stretch, right? And actually, it's in the stretching that we actually are happiest. It's like flow state requires challenge. It's not that we shouldn't have challenge. We need challenge in order to really get that focused flow state happening. I just rewatched Whale Rider, which is one of my favorite films about a little girl who really is the leader of the tribe, but nobody wants to recognize it except her grandmother knows. But everybody's like, no, she's not the leader, but she really is the leader. And there is a risk she takes in it that it just makes me want to cry. It's so powerful, the risk she takes, but it's finally where she gets recognized for who she truly is, and her true place in the world within that tribe is set in New Zealand. And it just makes me want to cry, because it's like, that's what we all need to know, is that everyone is a leader within, but you got to find it and you got to bring it. And your gifts are not the same as my gifts, and my gifts are not the same as someone else's. We all have very special gifts that we get to bring to the collective, to the global wellness community, so that your gifts, work with all the other gifts, and that way we can cover the ground.
I'm going to underline one more thing, because men are really great at this.
Yeah.
They know what they're really good at and what they're not good at. And so we need to perfect the things that we are really good at and sub out all the things we're not good at. But we think as women, we got to do it all. We got to have all these talents and all these, and we go, and we freeze and we don't do anything or whatever. No, sub out the things. Get the tech. If you need help with tech, get some help there. And then just know, I'm a promoter, Julie. I am a promoter, true and true. So
I love it.
don't be asking me about techie stuff or what to do in that. I'm hiring people to help me do that, right?
Absolutely.
Because that's what we do. And you can barter with your products. You can do rollouts for people. You can do all kind of things to help people in the midst of growing your business. But to see that target and to have that target up there, it might be the fake it till you make it. To see it, it seems so far away, but you know what? It's not. It's just, we've seen a lot more people as a Royal Diamond. We've talked to more, we've seen more, and we allowed people to coach us in areas that we needed to be coached along the way. We continue to be that.
Yes.
And
yes. Well, you mentioned the target, and it makes me think of Artemis or Diana, depending if it's Greek or Roman mythology you're looking at. She has her bow and arrow. She has her posse of her friends. She's in the forest barefoot. She knows how to focus, and she's, and she knows how to have that target and go for it. And in Zen archery, it's very interesting, because in Zen archery, they teach you there is no gap between the focus and the actual bullseye. You have to become one with the bullseye. And once you are one with the bullseye, you collapse down time and space. Then when you release the arrow, it will hit the bullseye, because you've already become it. And I love that, because I think that's so true in Nikken. In my experience is you have to claim it fully 100%. I am a platinum, diamond, royal diamond, whatever your thing is that you're focused on. I am it, and you collapse time and space, and then it can actually happen, because that is how the universe works. And of course, it doesn't mean you do the steps, but the steps are all playful, because you've already won. You've got to know you've already won in the invisible world in order to win in the physical, visible world.
And to affirm affirmations are great to help us get from point A to point B, so that the subconscious mind can start to own it as well, right?
100%. I do subliminals every morning, subliminal, because I know there's stuff that I don't know goes on in my unconsciousness or subconscious that could be thwarting me. So I'm always doing subliminal. And then the life cycle plan. The life cycle plan is so critical to look at and feed yourself with. And then what do you feed yourself with media? I don't watch negative news. I don't watch about all the murders. I don't do it, because it's not helpful to where I'm going.
Julie, one time I even had 3 note cards, front and back, laminated with holes and a suction cup in my shower. So I would do my affirmations in the shower. And there's another gentleman that talks about, and Noah St. John, he talks about affirmations. So if you are just starting out and you can't buy into it, it's make it a question. And the mind wants to answer. It's a little computer. Instead of it being against you, like, I am not a millionaire, like the minute you say I'm a millionaire, it's like, oh no, you're not, da 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 da. But it's, how am I a millionaire? And how, and all of a sudden it starts to shift. You talk about that posture, that I am, how am I, what am I doing today to be the Royal Diamond I know I am? And it starts to act, and you answer those questions in your subconscious mind, and you start to have that, and you own it. The buck stops here. I handle almost all my RMAs and all my, if there is any to return. I'm the store. I want them to have a pleasant thing, as well as educating people on what's about there. It's not just Nikken, it's you and what you bring. And if you don't know, you get them someone that knows, like the nurses and the people around. That's the beauty.
Yeah, because you're the biggest factor, right? You've got the perfect company, the perfect industry. I mean, industry's booming in wellness right now. You've got all of that happening. You've got the technologies that nobody has and everybody needs, that works fast. You can get a result in minutes, which is jolly exciting. And you've got everything in place, humans being more, you've got a team, you've got people to help you, so you're not alone and don't want to be alone. And then the biggest factor is you. So what are you going to do with all that? You've got it all like laid here on a plate. What do you do? And bringing all of you to it. And I know for myself, whether it's ballet or going Royal Diamond, I gave all of myself to it, and I still do. I give all of myself in 100%. I'm giving, because I think life is about that. It's to not hold back and to just give your all, whether it's in love, whether it's with your children, whether it's with Nikken. It's like, give it all up. Don't hold anything back off the field, right? I'm thinking of soccer or something. Mia Hamm is one of my, she's such an inspiration, soccer player. She's so strong, she's so powerful, she's such a winner. And so it's like, don't leave anything off the field. All of it has to come on the field. your mind, your emotions, your spirit, your body, all of it has to come. And when you give it your all, the universe will give you everything back. Does that feel true to you?
Oh, for sure. For sure, definitely. You start to own who you are, own that gold you talk about inside. That vibration raises. When the vibration raises, it just all starts to be in the flow. And it's just, okay, be open and receptive. It's coming, right? Your good's coming. The people are coming. That's really, that's it.
That's it. And there's
and
so
thank
many
you,
people out
Nikken,
there.
for this opportunity of life, and that we were able to stay open and stay in the midst of, this pandemic that's hopefully over soon, that we are here and we thrived and we survived that. Now it's time to thrive through it, right? And get those, so if you've ever thought of a business, this is the time to get it going, get it rolling, get things, because you're planting seeds now that later you will reap the harvest of, that you have no idea the fathom. Like me, no idea that I was launching people, that helping people to open up Germany, to get them going, to get, England, whatever, wherever, Canada, everywhere, Hawaii, South America. It's amazing what they're doing, and the technologies. It's right here. But the business, we need you. We need the women. Come on. Come play with us.
Absolutely. Because the world is our oyster, I feel. With Nikken, the world is our oyster. And there are millions of people out there who need what we have and are asking for it, meditating about it, praying about it, whether it's because they are in financial need or whether they're because in physical need, mental need. And we can serve and we can help, and that's just a joy. I can't think of a better way to spend a life. Really, I love it so much, and so do you. Thank you, my friend, for such a wonderful conversation. I'm thrilled we had this time together. Thank you for taking your time. And for everyone out there, I hope you loved this conversation as much as I did, and I know Barbara did. And gosh, take this to heart, listen to it over and over. Don't forget to share it. And you can find this on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube with translation. So enjoy, share, and I'll see you in a week or so. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.